I trusted him in ways I didn't even realize at the time. Not just with my heart, but with my routines, my decisions, my sense of reality. He was the person I checked in with before making plans, the voice I heard when I doubted myself, the one who always said, "You're overthinking." So I stopped thinking. That's how it starts. The small things were easy to ignore. Missed calls explained away by meetings. Messages answered hours later with casual apologies. Stories that didn't quite line up but were delivered with enough confidence to sound convincing. I told myself trust meant not questioning everything. We lived together, which made it easier to believe nothing could be wrong. His clothes were still in the closet. His mug was still in the sink. He kissed my forehead before leaving every morning like a ritual that proved consistency. But something felt off. Not dramatically. Not painfully. Just wrong in a quiet way. One night, we were sitting on opposite ends of the couch. He was scrolling through his phone, smiling slightly at something on the screen. I asked what it was without thinking. "Nothing," he said too quickly. Then, softer, "just work stuff." I nodded. But the smile stayed with me long after the moment passed. A week later, he told me he'd be late. Again. I reheated dinner, then ate alone. I didn't text him. I didn't call. I didn't want to be that person. He came home near midnight, smelling like a place that wasn't work. "You okay?" he asked, dropping his keys. "Yeah," I said automatically. He kissed my cheek and went straight to shower. I sat there in the quiet kitchen, staring at the clock, realizing something uncomfortable. I trusted him so much that I'd stopped listening to myself. The discovery didn't come from suspicion. It didn't come from checking his phone. It didn't come from following him. It came by accident. A mutual acquaintance messaged me the next day, confused. "Hey, random question. Are you and him still together?" I stared at the screen. "Yes," I typed. "Why?" There was a pause. Then, "Oh. I thought maybe you knew." My chest tightened. "Knew what?" Another pause. Longer this time. "I probably shouldn't be the one telling you." I didn't respond right away. My hands were cold. My heartbeat felt loud in my ears. "Knew what?" I typed again. The message that came back was short. "He's been introducing someone else as his partner." The room didn't spin. I didn't cry. I didn't panic. I just sat there, staring at my phone, as the word partner rearranged everything I thought I knew. I trusted him completely. And now I realized, I had trusted the wrong version of him. I didn't confront him. That was the first instinct I ignored. Every part of me wanted to ask questions, demand explanations, hold up my phone and say his name out loud like it might break the spell. But something stopped me, not fear, not denial. Clarity. If what I'd just heard was true, then reacting too fast would only give him control of the story. I needed to see it for myself. Not because I didn't believe the message, but because I needed to understand how long this had been happening. I replied to the acquaintance carefully. "How long?" The typing dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. "A few months," they finally wrote. "I assumed you were okay with it." A few months. I thought about all the times he'd told me he was tired. Busy. Stressed. How often I'd adjusted my expectations so he wouldn't feel pressured. How easily I'd believed him when he said, "It's nothing." I thanked the person and put my phone down. That evening, he came home like everything was normal. Same routine. Same smile. Same kiss on my forehead. He asked about my day, complained lightly about work, laughed at something on TV. I watched him closely. Not angrily. Not suspiciously. Like someone finally seeing a picture clearly after years of blur. Later, while he showered, his phone lit up on the counter. A name I didn't recognize. A message preview I wasn't meant to see. Can't wait to see you again. My hands didn't move. I didn't touch the phone. I didn't need to. Because the accident had already given me enough. When he came out of the bathroom, towel around his waist, humming softly, I smiled. Everything okay? He asked. Yeah, I said. I was just thinking. About what? About how much I trust you. He smiled back, relaxed. You should. That night, lying beside him, I felt strangely calm. Not numb, aware. Like something had clicked into place. The next few days, I changed nothing on the surface. I still asked how his day was. I still made coffee in the mornings. I still listened when he talked. But I stopped sharing parts of myself. I stopped confiding. I stopped adjusting my schedule around his. I stopped explaining my feelings. And I started noticing patterns. Late nights always followed by vague excuses. New clothes he hadn't shown me before. Calls he took in other rooms. It wasn't chaos. It was organized. One afternoon, I decided to test something small. I might be out of town this weekend, I said casually over dinner. Work thing. He barely looked up. Oh. Okay. Too easy. An hour later, my phone buzzed. A message from the same acquaintance. Just so you know, he told people he's free this weekend. I set my phone down and finished my meal quietly. I didn't feel rage. I felt certainty. He wasn't confused. He wasn't trapped. He wasn't misunderstood. He was deliberate. That night, I opened my laptop and started preparing. Not revenge. Not drama. An exit. Because once you discover the truth by accident, you realize something important. If they can live a double life without hesitation, you don't owe them a dramatic ending. You owe yourself a clean one. I didn't leave immediately. That's the part people don't understand when they hear stories like this. They imagine doors slamming, bags thrown together in anger, dramatic goodbyes. But I wasn't angry anymore. I was precise. I spent the next few days doing quiet things, practical things. I checked documents. I transferred what belonged to me into my own accounts. I backed up files. I made lists, not emotional ones, just factual. What was shared? What wasn't? What I would take. What I would leave behind. He noticed I was quieter than usual. You okay? He asked one morning, tying his shoes. Yeah, I said easily. Just tired. He nodded, satisfied with the answer. He always was. The weekend came. The one I'd said I might be out of town. I didn't go anywhere. I watched. He dressed differently that day. More carefully. He checked his reflection twice before leaving, something he never did for me. When he kissed my cheek goodbye, it felt rehearsed. I might be late, he said. I know, I replied. He didn't catch the difference. I waited until the door closed behind him. Then I moved. I packed only what mattered. Not because I was afraid of losing things, but because I didn't want reminders. I left behind furniture, decorations, objects that had absorbed versions of him I no longer believed in. I wrote one note. Not a letter. Not an explanation. Just a sentence. I discovered the truth by accident. I won't compete with someone who lies to both sides. I placed it on the kitchen table and walked out. I didn't block him. I didn't need to. The messages came fast once he realized. Where are you? What is this supposed to mean? We need to talk. I didn't reply. Hours later, the tone changed. You're overreacting. This isn't what it looks like. Please answer me. I turned my phone face down and kept driving. For the first time in months, I felt light. Not happy, not yet, but unburdened. Like I'd been holding my breath without realizing it and had finally exhaled. Days passed. Then weeks. I heard through mutual contacts that things hadn't gone smoothly for him. That the other relationship wasn't what he'd expected. That confusion replaced confidence when lies stopped lining up. He tried once more. A long message. Apologies layered with excuses. Promises that sounded familiar now, empty, carefully worded, too late. I read it once. Then I deleted it. Trust, I'd learned, isn't about believing someone blindly. It's about knowing that if the truth ever surfaced, it wouldn't destroy you. What destroyed us wasn't the betrayal. It was the assumption that I'd never find out. I didn't confront him. I didn't expose him. I didn't need closure. I left with clarity. And that was enough. Because when you discover the truth by accident, you realize something powerful. The moment you stop explaining yourself to someone who never planned to be honest is the moment you take your life back.